Hi everybody, it's Dandruff, and welcome to my coverage of the 6th conference at E3 2018 with PC Gaming. Just to clarify, there is no one specific company represented here. It's a conglomeration of the many things coming to the PC platform, hosted by Sean Plott, also known as Day 9. I have earned tons of respect for this man. Also co-hosted by a woman named Frankie, and so far these two are the best presenters at all of E3. Oh cool, they're going over 30 different games, so I'm sure there's something here that everyone should enjoy. We start off with a building, crafting, survival game with automation. Oh, Factorio, cover your eyes! This is satisfactory, and it may just pull me away from the game that I am sinking all my time into lately. Obviously, this was inspired by Factorio, but 3D. I am already signed up for their closed alpha. Coming up next is a game called NeoCab, and I'm not sure what this one is, but it's definitely cyberpunk themed. It looks like you're a cab driver who also has to deal with some type of mystery going on. A battle royale game featuring 1,000 players is up next, called Mavericks Proving Grounds. This looks like it would kick PUBG's ass up the side of one street and then down the other. This is actually an MMO battleground, meaning you don't join a game like you would PUBG or Fortnite, but instead through a central hub. You can sign up for their beta through a link down below. Here we have a puzzle game of sorts with a golden touch called The Forgotten City. You have to figure out what to do, otherwise everyone in the city turns to a statue of gold. Star Control Origins by Stardock Entertainment is up next, a brand new game that promises a retro feel. This looks like it's some type of procedurally generated planet exploring game with a combat system, and they say that they will have mod support on launch. Okay, the developers say it's an action RPG too. It's a fully simulated universe, meaning if you were to just stay in one part of the map for a long time, things still happen in other parts. If you pre-order Star Control, you can start playing it right now, and it launches on September 20th, 2018. Hunt Showdown is up next, which seems like a slower first-person shooter with older types of weaponry. Not really much is shown here, but it looks pretty good. Here we have a game called Archangel Hellfire, which is currently in early access. It's getting an overhaul to its PvP system and releases on July 17th. A game called Sunken City is up next, and it's an open-world action RPG inspired by Lovecraftian lore where you solve crimes. The developer says they will not be holding your hand in any way on this one, and you have to rely on yourself in order to find clues and solve the mystery. Next is a long-established PC title, Warframe, and more content called The Sacrifice is coming later this week. It's promising to add more content, giving players more twists and turns. Sega is up next, running through a bunch of different games. Valkyria Chronicles, Bayonetta, Vanquish, Puyo Puyo Tetris, Shenmue 1 and 2, Shining Resonance Refrain, Yakuza Kiwami, Valkyria Chronicles 4, and Yakuza 0. Tripwire Interactive is up next with their game Killing Floor 2, getting 4 new updates coming later this year. This will include a new weapon upgrade system to add customization to your play. If you really like killing robots and clowns, this one's for you. Tripwire is diversifying from just developing games to becoming a full-on indie publisher. It's kind of weird that an indie dev would become a publisher so soon, and the first game that they're publishing is called Maneater by Blindside. This too is an open world action RPG where you play a shark, and yes, there is a skill tree. You upgrade your shark because, after all, this is an RPG. This is just so dumb and well thought out that I love it and I have to play it, or as they said on stage, eat my way through it. Coming from a publisher called Untitled Publishing, and they want to clarify, yes, that is their name, is a new title available today called Bravery Network Online. Seems like a turn-based fighting game with a great art style. And there's some type of school setting going on here, I think? I'm not really sure. Ah, alright, farming. Now you have my attention. I am a sucker for this sort of thing. What just happened? This is a game called Morningstar, and if you want me interested about your game, this is how you do it. A simple palette platformer with pixel graphics is up next called Overwhelm, and it's available right now on Steam and itch.io. Frontier Developments is back with Jurassic Park Evolution, available starting yesterday, June 12th. Jeff Goldblum? Alright, that means this presentation automatically gets the highest rating of 10 Goldblums out of 10. This game tries to teach us the classic tale of when you try to capture nature, nature will free itself. But that doesn't mean that humans shouldn't try anyway. And how else are we going to get a T-Rex to show up and save the day? That is a friendly-looking robot. I really like this setting. It's very nice and calm and... oh, they shoot him. This looks like a single-player experience where you have to piece yourself back together, exploring a world, battling enemies, and solving puzzles. This looks like a game I could see myself getting into, and it's called Stormland by Oculus Studios. Not too sure if you need a VR helmet for it, though. Ah, yes, it is confirmed a VR helmet is required. Hopefully this is not an Oculus exclusive, but remember, you're just one Google search away from playing any game you want on your Vive. Described as a neo-noir game, here's another crime-solving game set in the near future called Night Call. Kinda spooky, and I'm not sure if that's gameplay, but it's very different to a lot of the other games we've seen here. This is a game called Sable, and it's an open-world adventure game with an incredibly unique art style. It's cel-shaded, and every frame looks like it's drawn out of a comic book or a Japanese manga. Go around solving puzzles and exploring this breathtaking world, and the developers say this is not a game about combat. Cloud Imperium Games is up next with one game, the famous, or infamous depending on how you see it, Star Citizen. Star Citizen currently holds the record for the largest budget of any indie title, with more than $150 million. Regardless of how you may feel about this game, you cannot deny that it has come a long way. But it has taken even longer to get there. Well, this is unexpected. They brought out a representative from Acer to talk about hardware, and you know how much I hate that, he said with the most sarcasm ever displayed on this show. Anyway, they're developing a new type of monitor marketed towards gamers, and a new model in their Predator line of laptops, which cost around $9,000 US each. That sounds like a lot, but they've sold out every single time. Alpha Crew is up next, and it's a space station building game where you have to explore planets in order to find resources to not only expand your space station, but upgrade it in order to find better and better materials. You also may or may not be able to conduct your own DNA experiments on the natural wildlife. Yep, this is what we were missing. Corporate weirdness. This is the Drake's mascot, who is the sponsor for E3 and not this show, so I think that's about all we need to see of that duck. Cly Entertainment is up next, and this time around the big news is a new game called Don't Starve Hamlet coming in December later this year. It's a spin-off game that seems like an adventure game rather than a survival game. Just Cause 4 is up next, and this is the third time I have covered this one, showing off their dynamic weather system and interactive world, which is much easier to get around in if you have a parachute if their trailers are accurate. I want to be able to ride that tornado with a saddle holding a cowboy hat. If I can do that, then I am sold. Starbreeze presents The Walking Dead, and I just want to clarify this has no relation to Telltale's The Walking Dead, other than the setting, of course. This ain't no choose-your-own-adventure game. This is an action shooter releasing on November 6th in the US and November 8th in the EU. Continuing on with The Walking Dead is Telltale's game. This is the final chapter to the other 3 seasons in an extremely popular series. The final chapter releases on August 14th. Hey, a roguelite! We haven't seen one of those yet, and this one is simulating every single pixel you see on screen. Oh my! Everything you see here can be destroyed, so if you blow up something that you weren't supposed to, it's not coming back. This one's called Noita, and no release window was given. 2 Point Hospital from 2 Point Studios is up next, and I just want to point out that they had a mic mishap during the presentation, and Day 9 just had the developer talk into his tie so the show could go on. This guy is a true professional, and eventually the issue is resolved. So this game is, That doesn't look comfortable. Usually when they do that to me, they have to take me out to dinner first. Anyway, in 2 Point Hospital, you design your own infirmary in different areas with different climates, which means you have to deal with different types of made-up diseases. This game has a certain charm that I'm in love with. Realm Royale from Hi-Rez Studios, the developers of Smite and Paladins, is up next, and this is a battle royale game you can play for absolutely free right now. And yes, it is on Steam. It's a class-based battle royale system, so instead of everyone having the same vanilla characters, it's more like an RPG and adds more longevity to the game. An update to a game we saw last year called Ooblets is up next, and this time around it's getting some major changes. There are a ton of more things to do, including more Ooblets to farm and more things to build. Party down with your Ooblets by Dancing the Night Away, coming to PC and Xbox One. A new game in the Anno series is up next, and while the last one took a very futuristic approach with Anno 2205, this is Anno 1800. If you've never heard of Anno, the number is the year the game takes place in. It's part city builder, part resource management, part naval combat, and way too complicated for me. One last Battle Royale game is up next from publisher TinyBuild and developed by Galactic Games, called Rapture Rejects, and it's inspired by Cyanide and Happiness. This is the most trendy game genre at the moment, done in a top-down isometric format, adding a whole new angle to the game. And if that wasn't enough, it takes place during the Rapture, and you're fighting all the people who didn't make it into heaven. This looks great, and I hope it plays just as well. Our final game is the recently leaked and then revealed Hitman 2. Yes, you can hit someone with a fish, and I bet that that's going to sell a dozen copies on that fact alone. Everything about this game is bigger and more interactive, giving you more ways to eliminate your target. Hitman 2 comes later this year on November 13th. Our two hosts then come together on stage to thank the sponsors and the audience for their participation. Again, that about wraps it up for my coverage of the PC Gaming Conference at E3 2018, and I'll see you next time.